Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmetto Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewell got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin', and they really bout it. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and Connie I flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the football. This for the football. This for the football.
Good morning, folks. It is Wednesday, March 22nd, right here on the 440 Sports Show. My name is Sam Torres. Thanks so much for getting up early and joining us for Ashtabula's only morning sports talk show. Let me go ahead and make sure we've got our sound. Got to do some quality control while on the air sometimes. That's, part of the game, part of being live. There it is. All right, the sound is there. So today we've got some awesome stuff to talk about right here on the show. We are going to get our final baseball preview done in the Jefferson Falcons. We're going to talk about their a little bit about their season last year and some of the stuff that's coming up this year. They're another one with a very interesting year last year, including a tie, which is not something you see, very, very often. Going to jump into the boys list being released for the YSN All-Star game right here on Saturday at the YSU Beagley Center. So that's going to be one. I'm telling you, folks, you're not going to want to miss that. It's going to be a really fun game. Get that ready to go. That's going to be a great game to watch, to be quite honest with you. We've got over 100 of the best athletes in Northeast Ohio. I mean, with here at YSN, you've got 68 schools, all the way down from the river to Lake Erie. You're getting the best of the best of the best, including, Akron Hoban, who just won a state championship in basketball this year, which is absolutely incredible. I cannot wait to get to this game. And actually, you know what? I'm not gonna wait to this game. We're gonna jump right into it. Once again, the only thing that has been updated since the creation of this flyer is the starting time for the girls' game is actually 5 o'clock. It was originally 5:30. It's going to get pushed back to 5 o'clock because these are going to be a little bit longer games. So. Game is at 5 o'clock with the boys game then starting at 7 o'clock over at the YSU Beagley Center, Beagley with the double E. I want to get into this really quickly. Yesterday we got a chance over on the website, ysnlive.com. We got a chance to see what the rosters are, and we're going to share that on the screen right now. Bring that in. All right, so here you go. YSN All-Star, Boys All-Stars are going to be released. And then for those of you who are watching this, actually, I'm going to bring this over here so I can look at this and look at you simultaneously. All right, so for those of you who are going to be involved in this game, if you are playing in this game, you are a player. One of the biggest and most important parts of this is the waiver. And I'm just going to jump all the way down to the bottom to show you right where it's at. If you look right here, under Smart Waiver, that's where, you got to get in there. That's got to be filled out before you can participate. So if you're under 17 or if you're under 18 years old, so if you're 17 or younger, you need to have a family, a parent, a guardian, whoever's in charge of you has to fill that out. Otherwise, you won't be able to participate in this, which is going to be just an awesome, awesome event. So the first game starts at 5 o'clock. For those of you who are participating in the game, check-in's going to begin at 4:00. So you're just going to go to right to YSU, check-in, start at 4. Now, I will tell you this: the girls' game starts at 5:00. So for the girls, it is imperative that you get there at 4:00. For the boys, you could probably squeeze in there closer to 5:00 because the girls will already be checked in, registered, and have all their stuff done. But 5:00 is tip off, baby. That's what time the game is going to go. And then 7:00 for the boys. Make sure you're wearing the appropriate uniform. I know my overthinking tale, the way I operate, would probably be bringing both of my uniforms just because I'm always worried that I got the wrong one. But we are going to go through the list right now and talk about who's on what team, who's coaching you, as well as what color uniform you should be wearing. Okay, so for the home team, let's go ahead and start off right now. That's going to be coached by Coach Irons and Coach Griffith. And we're going to have Will Scott Jr. And these guys are going to be wearing the home uniforms. Make sure that agrees with me. Yep. All right, so these guys are going to be wearing the home uniforms, which are the light colored uniforms. So if you don't have white, some schools don't. I think most schools do. But if you don't have white, you need to wear light uniforms because the other team's going to be wearing dark uniforms. So, just kind of however you think OHSAA treats that, make sure you treat it that way too. Will Scott Jr. from Akron Hoban, Andrew Griffith from Archbishop Hoban, excuse me. Jesus Hernandez from St. John High School, going to be on this team. Duncan Moy, and you want to talk about Duncan. His name matches his play style. This is a kid who can dunk the basketball. He is a heck of a player, a high flyer. Duncan Moy from Badger. DeMar Clark from Boardman. David Moore from Campbell Memorial. Jake Schneider from Canfield. Maddox Brown from Columbiana. Kirtland Miller from Crestview. Cam Sly from Youngstown East. Preston Kerr from East Liverpool. Weston Jones from East Palestine. Alex Henry from Howland. Aaron Romig or Romai from Jackson Milton. Ashby Merritt from Latonia. Will Aljonsic from Louisville. This is another absolutely big-time, phenomenal player. This kid's going to be playing, in college next year. John Rozzi from Mineral Ridge. JP Genova from Poland. Ross Davidson from Salem. Nick Del Grata from Struthers. Nevin Halen from United. Terrence Pankey. I've gotten a couple chances to watch him this year. I've got a couple chances to broadcast this game. Actually, in the past 2 years, because I watched that Ursuline team take on Howland at Lakeside last year. Terrence Pankey is a phenomenal. He's a next level guy as well. This is a guard that if you like basketball, tune into this game. Pankey is going to be worth the price of admission. This dude is the real deal, Holyfield. Ursuline was very, very good this year. I'm going to call it an upset because to me it was an upset. I truly believe that I think they should have been favored over Gilmore Academy, and I think they should have beat Gilmore Academy. I think Ursuline as a team was more complete, as a whole. But shout out to Gilmore Academy for getting it done. But that's who they run into, and that ends their year. John Trell Mixon from Valley Christian. Isaiah Greathouse from Wellsville. Chase I from Wyndham. Chase I is a kid I am familiar with from the football field, as I do remember St. John playing Wyndham, calling that game, and Chase I was all that the eye could handle. He gave them absolute problem. Dude is a for real athlete. KJ Turner from Liberty and Drew Galt from Heartland Christian. All right, now we're going to move over to the away uniforms. Now, the away uniforms are your dark uniforms. So this is going to be coached by Coach Upshire as well as Coach Reynolds. Starting off with Gianni Maley from Austin Town Fitch. Michael McKenzie from Beaver Local. Donovan Pulowski from Brookfield. Nick Prigabon from Cardinal Mooney. Chance Loomis from Conneaut. I'm really excited to get to see this young man. He's a junior over at Conneaut. Very, very, very good scorer. This is a kid who can create a shot. He's got a nice mid-range jumper. He's great with the ball in his hand. He moves off of the ball very, very well. He is an offensive-minded guard. He's not bad on defense, but offense is the name of the game. Offense is where he's going to kind of show out. I'm really looking forward to watching this young man play on Saturday at this very, very high level. He did some really great things for Conneaut, including being their leading scorer this year as a junior. And this is a team that, Conneaut had a lot of talent on that team this year, and Chance Loomis found a way to kind of separate himself from the pack. James Montanaro from Edgewood. James Montanaro, I just love watching this kid play as well. The nickname he has garnered right here on the 440 Sports Show is the Quiet Storm. The most dangerous type of storm is the quiet storm. It's the one you don't see coming, and James Montanaro has made a high school career out of that. This is a young man who has been in the rotation for the last couple of years for Edgewood. He took on a lot more minutes this year than last year, but even last year, he played kind of the same role. This is a kid who plays great on-ball defense. This is a kid who can shoot the ball very, very well. And while you are spending all of your time yes, my guy too. He's the man. While you are spending all of your time looking at their high scores, Montanaro is doing all the little things, and he's jumping off in the corner, hitting 2, 3, sometimes 4 threes in a half. Before you know, this kid is absolutely lighting you up. His coaches have always had beautiful things to say about the young man as a teammate, as a coachable kid. Just really, really looking forward to seeing this young man in there from Edgewood. James Montanaro, Preston Gideon from Garrettsville Garfield, Tarmas Cardiero from Girard. I want to talk about this young man too. I got a chance to watch him in the sectional final when they were playing over at Notre Dame Cathedral Latin, and he's another one. This is a kid who I don't know that any part of his game is lacking. He gets down the floor very well. He's tall. He sits right around 6'2", 6'3". He might even be taller than that. This is a kid who can shoot. This is a kid who can rebound. This is a kid who plays phenomenal defense. This is a kid who can bring the ball up as your point guard. He's got that much of a feel for the game. Girard really kind of leaned on him heavy to be to kind of run the show. And every time they leaned on him, he answered the call. Answered the call so much that Girard was one of 3 teams that were tied at the top for that NE8 title this year. The other 2 teams being Jefferson and South Range. Nate Boyarsky, Chef Boyarsky. Nate Boyarsky is a phenomenal athlete out of Grand Valley. This is a kid who is very, very fast. His defensive skills are very good. His transition game is off the hook. Give this guy, I'm telling you, if you've never got a chance to watch this young man, this is the type of kid who can go, and I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. This kid will go run in a track meet and then go hit a double in the same day. This is an athlete, and on the basketball court, he makes everybody better around him because you got to pay attention to him. He can get to the bucket like that. Luke Reynolds out of Heartland Christian. Joey DeGeorge, the #1 stunner for the Falcons this year. Big, bad Joey DeGeorge goes out there, 25 points a game this kid averages during the season. When the Falcons called, Joey answered. This is a kid with a very high release point. He plays great defense. I believe he led the entire team in blocks as well. This is a kid who has taken basketball very seriously. This is going to be his go-to. And with his growth pattern, I don't blame him. He's a junior on a team that lost 2 1,000-point scorers at Jefferson. In John Castrilla and Bobby Ray. Bobby Ray still playing basketball right now over at Westminster. Doing the thing. The man's a starter. He's a certified stud over there. Jefferson had to find somebody to come and fill that role. And guess what? Joey DeGeorge answered the call. comes out there this year, big time play, big time minutes. And in Jefferson's final year in the NE8 conference, they're going to leave with a piece that they'll never be able to forget them by, as they were a conference champion. Moving on, we're going into Austin Rowe, the phenomenal freshman out of LeBray. Deshaun Williams from Lakeside. Deshaun Williams has had a late season absolute jump. The young man has gotten the job done all year, and I want to tell you, Deshaun Williams is no stranger to scoring. He's no stranger to being the guy. Every team he's on, he's going to be at least in the top, in the talk for the top. This is a young man who can score from anywhere on the floor. You rewind back to the CVC All-Star game, which just happened last week. He's going to drop him a 30-piece with biscuits. 30 points in the All-Star game for that young man. Okay? Deshaun Williams, rewind a little bit more. Deshaun Williams in the three-point contest at the Senior Classic. That replay available right here on ysnlive.com. Deshaun Williams is going to go off with 14 long bombs in 1 minute. 14 threes in 1 minute. It was unbelievable. One of the best three-point contests I've ever seen. So if you do have a chance to go back and check out that replay, check that out, because the guy he beat is a young man by the name of Jimmy Severino over at St. John. He hit 10 of them in 1 minute. It was a shooting clinic. Deshaun Williams, can't wait to watch this young man go out there and play the game. Trevor Seifke from Lisbon. My baloney has a first name. It's Vinny, Vinny Balone out of Lowellville. This is a big kid who is very, very good. You probably remember him from his football career, the quarterback, the Mr. Do-It-All, the Mr. Touchdown Vinny. I mean, the dude gets the job done. He goes out on the basketball court, and he's leading this Lowellville Rockets team into success there as well. I'll be honest with you. I saw him on the football field. I didn't realize the kid was as tall as he is. And for as tall as he is, he's very, very athletic. Really looking forward to getting to see this kid play the game on Saturday too. Remember the name, Vinny Balone. Greg Constantino from McDonald. Sam Perrone from Niles. Blake Kersnerick from PV. I have a love of nicknames. That's one of the things I think that makes sports so awesome and individual. Blake Kersnerick, sometimes I give them the nickname. Sometimes the nickname is bestowed upon me. And Kersnerick is the Condor. This is a young man with the wingspan of a Condor. He's a tall kid. He's a kid who can shoot the ball very, very well. He's a kid that if you put him down in the post, he's going to be able to change shots and make sure that nobody's getting comfortable layups. It was with him and Tyler Britton this year on the basketball court that led to a lot of PV's success, because they were big guys who did the job. Moving on, Cade Leisure at Sebring, Dylan Turvey from South Range, Brady Ketchum at Southern, Landon Moore at South Range, Jaden Payne from Ursuline. Folks, watch this game. Jaden Payne is worth the price of admission as well. This is a kid who takes defense seriously. And the only thing, you have heard my voice probably crack on a dunk during the game. The only thing that gets me more hyped up than a dunk is a NBA street style block. And Jaden Payne blocked a shot in the last game I called for him that's probably still stuck somewhere in Notre Dame Cathedral Latin ceiling. The dude is for real. He's a big guy, 6'7", 6'8" is what they have him listed at. He can dunk the basketball. He can block the basketball. He moves very, very well. He's a high-level basketball player right there from Ursuline. Part of, that Ursuline team was absolutely stacked this year with Pankey and Payne. Those guys, those were double trouble, and you had to pick your poison there. Navar Alassan from Waterloo. Joey Jackson from West Branch, got a chance to watch this young man this year as well. And Joey Jackson, just like on the football field, he transitions that speed over the basketball court. Joey Jackson might be the fastest guy on the court we see on Saturday. This kid has flat out wheels. This dude is a certified bolt, man. He can run his tail off. That speed transitions to the court very well. He's going to be very, very fun to watch. Joey Sorensky from Western Reserve and Michael Condolian from Warren JFK. Once again, this game going to start. The girls' game going to start at 5 o'clock. This game's going to start at 7 o'clock. The girls, we went through a little bit earlier in this week. There's some really big-time names out there. A lot of Ash Debula going to be right here. Let me go ahead and take that off our screen. But don't forget, kids, go get your waivers done right here. You want to make sure that this waiver is done. And you can find this along with all the information you need over on www.ysnlive.com. It's going to be a super fun event. I cannot wait. As you can see, with the excitement and me talking about these kids in preparation of the game, I think it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I really, really do. But that's going to be for that portion of the show. I do want to go to a break really quickly. We're going to talk to our first set of sponsors right here on YSN. And I want to remind this, I always like to take this part of the show to remind you all that the 440 Sports Show at this point in time is brought to you by absolutely no one. We got room for sponsorship. We got room for advertisement. This is a great opportunity. 68 schools, 68 separate school districts. You're going all the way from the river down in the valley to Lake Erie, and you're catching everybody in between. You want to talk about hyper-local, hyper-regional. You want to reach out to these people and let them know about your product. I can't find a better place to do it than right here on ysnlive.com. If you have any questions, please reach out to me on any of the social medias. You can also head over to ysnlive.com under advertisement, and it's going to be right there for you. It's a great way, and not only are you helping get your product well known, and are you helping push your product and what you can do out to a lot of great communities, you're also helping the kids, because everything we do here helps us push forward this brand, this network, which is all about the kids. So we're going to start this one off with our friends from Toyota of Warren. We'll be back here in about 2.5.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions. WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
All right, guys, welcome back to the 440 Sports Show. My name is Sam Torres. Thanks so much for joining us here this morning. It's Wednesday. In the words of John Bon Jovi, oh, we're halfway there, working our way into the weekend. But before we get anywhere, let's jump in to this Jefferson baseball preview, which is going to be our final preview for baseball on the show. We got them all done so far. 7 Ashtabula County teams, 7 previews. We're going to jump into softball probably starting tomorrow. I'm still working on grabbing some of that information, but that's not going to be too far-fetched to think that we're going to start softball tomorrow. I do know that we've got more interviews coming up, including one with head coach Scott Barber. We're still working that out. Talked to him a little bit last night about how that's going to work. We've got Lakeside's coming on there as well as guys from Grand Valley, every school out here, all the Ashtabula County schools. We want to make sure everybody's got a chance to talk about their teams. And don't forget, this weekend is going to start the season. This is what is the home opener for a lot of people. Make sure my sound is on. The home opener. Yep. All right, we're good. So without further ado, let's jump right into this Jefferson baseball preview. So the Jefferson Falcons with a 2022 record of 5-15-1. And that one to me is just such an interesting number to see on anybody's schedule. And we had another team with a tie last year, and they did not tie Jefferson. Jefferson's tie last year is against Girard, Pennsylvania, who they will play again this year. So that's one of the games I think that's probably double circled because nobody has ever left a tie feeling satisfied. That's for sure. Also, big wins last year over county foe Edgewood. They beat Edgewood 2-0 last year. Edgewood, as you know, CVC Valley champion, out there getting the job done. Jefferson, by all accounts, was having a tough year going into that year. Going into that game. You look at that. That was their first win of the season last year. Their first win of the season comes against arguably the toughest opponent that they had seen to that point. So Jefferson kind of figured it out toward the middle of the season and kept that stuff going as they get another big win over Warren Harding last year and a win in the playoff tournament, going and beating Kirtland. And beating Kirtland in anything is very, very tough. Now, with that, as you can see, this player's list is quite numerous itself. But before we jump into the players, let's jump into the schedule and talk about what Jefferson is going to have going this year. March 25th, that's this Saturday, folks. That's this Saturday where it's baseball season already. Wild stuff. March 25th, they're going to be at Lakeside for a doubleheader. On the 27th, they're going to head down south for South Range. They're coming home. They're going to play South Range on the 28th. On March 31st, they're going to be playing Grand Valley. Then they're going to go a home and away with Hubbard on April 3rd and April 4th. 4/13, this is the one I was talking about. Circle this game. Watch this game. This is going to be a game that I'm very interested in. We're going to see how the schedule kind of pans out because anytime you tie a team, there's a little bit of you want to get that one. You want to get that one. No one likes a tie. On April 13th, they're going to play Girard, Pennsylvania. 4/15, this is one that most likely is going to be covered. I can tell you that. This is a doubleheader with 2 county teams versus Jefferson. That makes it 3. So on April 15th, they're going against Geneva and St. John in a doubleheader. That one's starting off at 11. April 18th, they're going against Struthers. 19th, they're going to Struthers. The 21st, Marquee game here, folks. This is a marquee game. The biggest marquee game, I think, of the season so far. And we'll see as the season is going to change up and down. 421 versus Edgewood. 424, they're going to Girard. Girard was another team that they were able to get a win over last year as well. With only 5 wins, obviously the wins were far and in between, but they split the series with Girard last year. 425, they're going to host Girard at home. May 1st, Warren Harding. They beat Warren Harding last year as well. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was a high-scoring affair. Yeah, 15-14. And that's a late season game. May 2nd, they're going, Conneaut coming to Jefferson. Another county matchup. You can anticipate that game being great. May 3rd, they're going against Poland at home. May 4th is an interesting one. Madison. They're going to Madison. Madison not yet a part of this YSN family, but I think that's something that may change here in the very near future. With Madison being part of the CVC in the Lake Division, I understand Madison is a Lake County team, but I'll tell you what, Madison is as close to an Ashtabula County team as you can possibly get. But that's going to be a great game right there. Madison has some really good baseball players. So one of the first times we're seeing them on a schedule out here. May 9th, they're going to Conneaut. May 10th, they're going to Poland. And then they're going to end the year at home versus their friends down Route 11 in Pymatuning Valley. That's going to be another great game. I'll tell you what, the county matchups, I've talking to the coaches, and I understand how the importance of conference play. And I understand the importance of every coach wants to win every game, but there's a certain amount of magic. There is a certain amount of achievement with owning the area you live in. That's why these county matchups to me are so paramount and so important. And Jefferson's got a chance to play all the county teams. I believe they're going to get their shot at everybody once. At least once. And I just think that that's so awesome. And we're going to see that more and more often as these conference realignments have happened. As the CVC Lake becomes a thing, you're going to start seeing and with the CVC essentially having 6 out of the 8 Ashtabula County teams, I think these county matchups are just going to happen naturally, honestly. Let's talk a little bit about some of these returning players. Now, I did have a chance. Hold on, let me pull this up. Got a chance to talk to Coach Barber yesterday, and one of the things he talked about was losing such a large portion of his starting lineup, and that seems to be a theme, really. And I don't know if that's just a theme in baseball, as I'm newer to covering the sport. I'm newer to covering high school baseball. It's only been about 2 years that this will be my third covering high school baseball. But what I've seen is a pattern where you get huge classes in, and more so than any other sport, that I've seen. I understand that in high school, you're going to graduate kids. But in baseball, it seems like you're having, some lineups where it's like 90% of your guys, they graduate, they're out. And with Jefferson, that's the case this year. Returning only 2 seniors and 3 total lettermen coming back this year. Josh Furman, who's going to play some infield for them, and Kirk Lambert, who's going to do some pitching as well as some infield for them, as well as Luke Lambert, who's going to do some pitching and infield as well. Now, they've got some juniors that are going to have a big opportunity to come out and play big-time innings, as well as be big contributors, starting off with Michael McGraw and Giovanni Matacola. McGraw being the catcher. We've talked about how important the catching position is. I mean, that if you got a bad catcher, you're going to get scored on a lot. You're going to get stolen on a lot. You know, it's about blocking the ball. It's about having, you know, a decent enough arm, and it's about really kind of keeping your pitcher in check. You know what I mean? Giovanni Matacola coming up to pitch. Dylan Jacobs, he's going to be doing some pitching for them as well. These guys are, I believe, sophomores now that I'm talking now. Braden Dietrich, he's going to pitch and do some infield as well. These guys are young guys that are going to have to step up. And in the words of Coach Barber, you know, he said leadership on two seniors will weigh heavy. Experience will have to be on fire for the juniors, and we are going to need some strong years from sophomores as well as freshmen coming in. Only 18 players on the team total this year. So the number's a little bit lower, particularly for Jefferson, which typically has a pretty big baseball program. You know, and what his overall look at it this year, the success is going to depend on how quickly they can gain the experience they need here at the varsity level. They're looking forward to getting out there, trying to get these young men to get the game. One of the things in the interview I did with Coach Barger, he talked about the game slowing down. I think that's one of the things Coach Barber is talking about here too. I think he's looking forward to the game slowing down a little bit for some of these young men, for them to be able to go out there, make some on-spot decisions, make the right decisions. You know, sometimes you get put into these big moments, and the only way to get ready for a big moment is to be in a big moment. You know, you cannot prepare for pressure. All the practice in the world doesn't prepare you for pressure. It's not there until it's there, and when it's there, that's when you've got the experience. And that's what they're looking into this year for Jefferson. You know, people look at a 5-15-1 record, and you know, they may scoff at it. They may look at it as a failure. But I don't think that you can look at these records like that, particularly in baseball, because baseball, much like basketball, it's not about what you do during the year. It's about how you end the year. There are a lot of teams out there. There are a lot of teams out there in this county and around this county that had great records throughout the year. They won conference championships. They won, you know, all of their home games, blah, 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 blah. But guess what? When that game counted, when it came time to the win it or go home, upsets happened. They kept playing. People kept going. You know, other people went home. St. John's a perfect example of that as well. St. John started off ice cold and ends the year with a sectional title. Jefferson goes out there last year. I'm sure that Kirtland was looking at Jefferson like, yeah, we're going to be able to get these guys. Going into this game, they've got 4 wins on the season. Jefferson said no. 11-8 win over Kirtland in the playoffs. So again, it's not about how you start it; it's how you end it. And Jefferson has shown that they're in it to win it. Coach Barber has some high hopes for these young men this year, and I can understand why. There's a lot of great things going on at Jefferson athletically from the top to the bottom. They've really got it figured out, and I'm really looking forward to getting out there and checking out some Falcon baseball this year. I'll tell you what, I'm just hoping that the weather kind of holds out. That was the number one deterrent last year. The weather was awful last year, and more games got rained out or rescheduled than I can remember ever happening in the past. So it's good. I'm looking forward to seeing how they can improve on this from last year. I mean, they lost some guys. PJ Modzalewski was the guy that he was one of their better pitchers from last year. And when you lose an arm, somebody else has got to come take those strikes. Somebody else has to come get those pitches. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see who's going to step up, who's going to be the Falcon that separates themselves this year, because the opportunity is there. And I think they know it, and I think the coach knows it. And I'm really excited. Those are the opportunities. These are the teams that I love to watch, because they're teams that the lower you have expectations on them, the lower your expectations are on them, the quicker they make you question what you know, because they go out there and they surprise people. So that's going to be our final baseball preview. That was on the Jefferson Falcons. All of these previews are going to be released, obviously, on Instagram. You're going to be able to see the graphics. We're going to be getting into softball starting tomorrow. You know, my commitment to you guys is, we're going to try and get no less than 2 and try and get at least 3 baseball or softball games done a week. We're going to try. It's a lot. It's this season more than any season is a grind because it never stops. But that's our commitment to you. We want to make sure that if you want to watch high school baseball, if you're trying to keep up with your local teams, that you can do it right here on ysnlive.com. Before we go, I do want to talk about one other event coming up here soon, the Joe Pigskin Pete alumni game. That's coming up on March 31st at Jefferson High School. Joe Pigskin Pete is a big reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today. I looked up to this guy. He was kind of a broadcast hero of mine. I didn't even know I was ever going to get into broadcasting. I never knew I was going to be doing this, but I do remember at the time while he was providing the area's very best coverage, thinking to myself, like, how cool is it what that guy's doing? I hope that one day I make some kind of a difference that he did. And that's one of the things I'm striving for in doing what I'm doing, is to just try and match that energy, match the energy of the great Joe Pete. I think he did so much more than people realize for sports in this area. And, we lost him in 2012 at, way too young. And anytime that we can honor him, I think is a great thing that I'm 100% sure I want to be involved with. I'm honored to be out there and bringing some eyes to the cause, I guess is what I'll call it. But this one is going to start at 5:00 on the 31st. They're going to have 2 different divisions. We're going to see how this goes because the teams are still coming in. We've got another event coming up as well. The Emilio Parks event is coming up. So there's still a lot of basketball to be played, even though the high school basketball is done. We got a lot of events coming up right here on ysnlive.com. So that's going to be my story, and I'm sticking to it, folks. I'll tell you what, it was a fun show. I'm really glad to have knocked out that final baseball preview. It's the first time we've done those. This weekend we're going to start baseball in the area, but first we got to tie off some things. We got the All-Star game right here on YSN. So we got to get that taken care of, and then it's all about take me out to the ball field. I hope to see you guys this weekend here at the Beagley Center. If not, make sure you're checking it out on ysnlive.com. That's all I got for you today, folks. I hope to see you again tomorrow, Thursday, for Ashtabula's only morning sports talk show. My name is Sam Torres. Thank you so much for joining. I can't wait to see you tomorrow.
This for the football. This for the football. For the city and the back roads, got a whole county full of them ghosts. All from the football. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewell got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating no dragons who run the whole city, you wildin'. And they really bout it, yeah. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them, yeah. And kinda got flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number 1 in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the football. This for the football. This for the football.